Can you believe September 2024 is right around the corner? Well, what do you think about when you think of the fall? Well, some of us think of cold and flu season. In fact, many people are almost very sensitive about germs and catching someone else's germ and very fearful. Well, fear no more, because today in the classroom, we're fortunate to learn from many teachers, but today we're fortunate to learn from what I called her the last time she was in the classroom, the body whisperer, Dr. Jennifer Gramith, ND. As you know, we love having her in the classroom. We love learning from her. And she always brings us meaningful information, life-changing information. But what about everyday common information that we may not even think is life-changing? Well, today we're going to be talking, or she's going to be teaching us how to naturally prevent or natural prevention strategies on flu and cold season.
And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
Hello, my name is Lily McDermott, and I am a certified life coach, a certified holistic cancer coach, and the host of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show Classroom. If this is the first time that you've been in the classroom, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide natural ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Well, as the teachers in the classroom sometimes become very, very close friends. And I am so grateful that not only Dr. Jennifer Gramith has been a sponsor of the classroom, that I have inherited a beautiful friend, a beautiful friendship, one that whenever we see each other, we need to catch up, and one that I know that you trust as well. And so it's been a while since she's been in the classroom, so I am not going to talk anymore, because it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge. And I'm grateful that Dr. Jennifer Gramith is here to do just that. Welcome back to the classroom. I've missed you.
I missed you. You don't even know how much I missed you in this classroom. So thank you for that beautiful introduction. And I am just so grateful to call you my friend. And, I'm excited about, working together and continuing to educate people on how to care for themselves. That's always been a, passion of mine. It's not just being the doctor telling people what to do, but teaching them how to heal themselves and mind, body, and spirit. I think it's all critical. So today we're going to talk about, how to protect yourself from colds and flus. It's nobody wants to get that. Nobody really, especially women, we do not have time to get sick. So let's be proactive and let's take those and the simple things that you can do, but take those necessary steps to protect you and your family this season.
Well, I know that today I'm just going to right off the bat, I'm going to just tell you that Dr. Jen has always come with bearing gifts into the classroom, and this class is no different. So can you share what you're going to be giving away
Right.
on September 9th? We're going to be giving this away.
So yeah, I'm going to give my Dr. Jen's Immune Essential Kit, which has the vitamin C that you need, which is the antiviral. It'll have the biome balance to restore the gut health, and we'll talk about why that's so important. Green tea, which is your natural antioxidant, and then immunoblend, which is your antimicrobial. So it's antiviral, antiparasitic, antibacterial, you name it, it'll kill it. So those are things that are absolutely essential if you want a strong functioning immune system. And a lot of people don't truly understand how their immune system works or is supposed to work. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Absolutely. And I'm excited about that. So all you need to do is get your name in the winner's basket. You can text me at 407-373-5959, or you can email me at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. Let me know that you would like to put your name in the winner's basket and you would like an opportunity to win the Immune Essential Kit from Dr. Jen's. Dr. Jen's Immune Essential Kit. If your name is on there, it's got to be good. It's like, what is it, Campbell? Wasn't that the Campbell? I'm not going to take
Yeah.
it away. I'm going to give them credit. But so today I am looking forward to learning about this because I understand that many people, oh, and by the way, September 9th, that's when we're going to do the giveaway. So if you're listening to this in podcast, Pandora, we're in Pandora now. Not that I'm excited about, there's all the podcasts that we're in. But if you're listening to this after the class airs on August 29th, then please, you have a whole week over a week to put in your name, and we will draw the name on September 9th. Okay, so let's talk about our immune system. Why is it that when we think of the fall, we think of cold and flu season? And people start panicking. People will even take drastic measures to ensure that they don't get last year's cold and flu, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But we're not going to be talking about that kind of prevention. We're going to be talking about our immune system and how we can biohack it, how we can work with it. So share a little bit about the immune system and explain a little bit more so that we can understand what we're dealing with.
Right. So, that's important to understand because if you know how your immune system is supposed to work, then it makes it very clear on what we need to do. So, how does your immune system actually fight off colds and flus? And, your skin is your first barrier from the environment entering into your body. And so the problem I see with most people is the majority of the population has leaky gut. And, so when you have that exposure to that virus, whether it comes in through your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, a cut on your body, that exposure of that virus into your system should be kind of picked up and dealt with your innate immunity. That's your acute response. And so many times when that happens, like if it happens in your nose, you develop congestion in your sinuses, that's your natural immune response to killing that virus. And so what do we do typically, Lily? Or not us, but what does the majority of the population? They take something to suppress those
Yes.
symptoms. And that's sometimes one of the worst things you can do because you just kind of push it in deeper, and then your adaptive immunity has to deal with it. And so that's kind of, a little bit about how viruses get into the body, the immune response. We typically, cut it off at the knees with Tylenol. We don't want to stop a fever as long as it is, within a normal levels,
And what is that
101,
normal
102.
level?
I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't let it go over 103, 104, definitely, especially with children. But you want to try to induce fever many times when you're trying to kill off viruses, bacteria. That's part of our treatment
Mhm.
in, functional medicine with patients dealing with chronic disease. We're trying to induce fever to help their body burn those things off. And so it's critical that we don't stifle that initially when we get a little sniffle or a sore throat, things. There's a lot better things to use that would help not suppress it, but just strengthen your immune reaction. And so, it comes into your body and it creates some irritation, and you have some swelling, and then your macrophages come in. And, if they don't clean it all up and it goes deeper into your system and gets into your gastric lining and then into your bloodstream and then into the lymphatics system, then that's when your adaptive immunity or your specific response, and that's when the T cells are activated. And so it, identifies you have these helper cells that will take particles of that virus and take it to the T cell, and then it will help to create cytotoxic cells to destroy that virus, the rest of it, so cleaning up that debris. And then your body develops memory cells. Well, that's how vaccines are supposed to work, is you're creating this acute response and then this adaptive response, and then you now have memory cells. So the next time that virus comes into your body's like knows what to do, and it just stops it in its track. But you can do this naturally, by not stopping the immune response. And so there's a lot of things that you should know going into cold and flu to protect yourself, when you do start developing some symptoms.
Well,
Mhm.
what is the difference between a cold and a flu, and how can we know what it is? Because a lot of people, when just recently when we had the last pandemic, everything was the pandemic. Everything was all about that. Nobody ever got the cold, nobody ever got the flu. But
Yeah,
so let's talk about cold and flu again.
yeah.
And so how do we know the difference between the two? I know this sounds like a simple question, but many
No, and that's
times people don't understand the symptoms that might point you towards stay away from this group, you are contagious versus a typical cold.
Yeah, so it would be more of that reaction. Plus, flu is influenza. It's a
Mm.
certain type of strain of flu, and it does not. You don't get the identical one every year, So it will morph into another one. That's why you can't predict what strain is coming out with flu. Now, colds, you're symptomatic, you get it is still viral related, but it's not influenza. And so influenza is the one that can wreak a lot of havoc depending on the strain. So one
Mhm.
year it may be a weak strain that doesn't really, create a whole lot of symptoms. And the next year it's severe, and it's creating a lot of issues. But it's not even just the types of viruses that we're exposed to, whether they're weak or they're strong, it's the state of the terrain of
Mhm.
that individual, and where is your immune system. And so, in a perfect world, you have that reaction, you have the exposures, you sneeze, and that's the way your body is reacting to the virus or the invader, and to push it out, to try to get rid of it. Or you cough, or your body tries to expel it, and then it's taken care of. But so many people have a weakness or a compromised immune system. They're dealing with one, two, three, four chronic diseases, autoimmune disease. So, what does that do to your immune system? Well, if your immune system is dealing with chronic illness, it is in a state of inflammation all the time. So, inflammation, which is part of that acute response, is all over the body. It's kind of like you have little fires everywhere. So the immune system becomes very suppressed. It's exhausted. It cannot deal with that new pathogen, new invader, and it allows it to run rampant in the body, making you severely sick. And so I think, the biggest takeaway is, not to be afraid of these viruses, but know how your immune system is functioning. And there's easy ways of testing that. Now, if you have been diagnosed with a chronic illness, diabetes, cancers, heart disease, any of those, you have a compromised immune system, and you need to take steps in protecting that, and outside of wearing a mask. Okay, the mask is not going to protect you from the internal terrain of your body. Actually, I believe that, especially the dyed ones, create a lot of issues. So
Mhm.
it creates another body burden for the immune system to deal with.
And
And
it also makes the body believe that it's in flight or fight because it's
Mhm.
breathing its own breath. It's constantly
Yes, dear.
circulating this, and so it can make it even worse, right? Because
Right.
that's the body's
Yeah,
going to have to respond to that too.
right. Plus, it's just that, it's the constant reminder that you're fearful, I'm fearful of other people. I'm fearful of germs. And in reality, we are exposed to hundreds and thousands of bacteria, viruses, germs every day.
Hmm.
And so you can't live in a bubble. But what you can do is change the terrain of your body and build health. And that, could be optimal health for you can look different than it is for me. But we're trying to build ourselves back up, trying to build healthy cells, trying to detox these burdens that have accumulated from lifetime of bad choices,
Hmm.
whether it's, bad mental emotional choices that create, cortisol spikes all the time, or bad diet, lack of exercise. These are all not getting good sleep. These are all immune suppressing
Hmm.
things if not, controlled and really given um the importance, of these things, I think have just kind of been shoved under the rug. And where, because we've become a society where, I get a symptom, I have a ache or a pain, and I just want to take something to get rid of it. I don't want to know why, or, was it something I did to it? I just want to get rid of it. And
Hmm.
that's not going to give you health,
Yeah,
especially not optimal health. It's going to break your body down further. So we really have to take responsibility and look at ourselves and, what is it in my life that I need to change for the better, not for just me, but to be that example for my loved ones. I think that's,
absolutely.
oh, mhm.
Absolutely. And what I'm hearing you say mostly, what's coming out is prevention and
Mhm.
and being proactive with our health prior to this. So this is a good time to start doing some things. And I know that you're going to give us some tips in a little bit on how we can improve our immune system. You talked
Right.
about some of these things that suppress, like lack of sleep and lack of exercise and emotional traumas that we play in our head over and over and over again. But what is the difference between me getting a sore throat and sucking on garlic versus me getting a sore throat and reaching out for an allopathic over-the-counter remedy? What would be the difference? Because sometimes I like stopping the production of whatever's happening the moment I feel a symptom, but I do it naturally. What is the
Right,
difference?
right. So when you take like an aspirin, or a Tylenol, you're just masking these symptoms. So you're
Mhm.
just reducing the fever. The fever is actually what you want, to happen to help burn that up.
Yeah.
With a natural like garlic or something like that, even white willow, anything like that, it is not going to necessarily lower the temperature, it's going to kill the infection that's causing the temperature.
Okay.
So it's back to root cause. And so whether it, we take vitamin C is an antiviral, it's very good. It's good for the integrity of your cells and your tissues. But you can get that also in food, so if I am not well, I may want to eat some citrus, citrus fruits. Or red pepper is really, really high in vitamin C. You can juice it, things like that, and get those nutrients. Or you can take, a plant-based vitamin C as well, instead of taking, something else, something prescription that has side effects to it. So it's not that I'm saying never use any kind of medication, but that should not be your first go-to. There's a reason we have these I think they've been abused and overused, and we've taken, that total responsibility on people taking care of their health away from them, and just said, here's a, pill for every ill. It's creating more illness, and people need to understand that and be patient with their body, allow themselves. You get sick many times because you are overworked, stressed out, you're not getting good sleep, and then you have the exposure. So you don't necessarily just want to take something, to get rid of the virus when the problem is that you've not allowed yourself sleep, you've deprived yourself of sleep, you're not eating well, and you need to fix those are the roots of the problem. And so this gives you opportunity. Sometimes sickness just gives you opportunity to take a look at yourself and your life and, the style that you created and make some important changes if you are wanting or seeking long life, optimal health. You don't want to be that burden on your family. You want to be the person that is showing them, how to live right, how to be healthy. We don't want to suffer. And, that's the biggest thing is I don't want to suffer either. And that's why a lot of us, will grab those pills and take them. It's because we want to end our suffering right then. But you're not ending your suffering. That's a facade. You're actually creating more issues if you don't deal with the root of the problem. And this is why so many people have immune disorders. I mean, this is my field. This is what I see all day long, every day. And it shouldn't be that way because 95% of it is lifestyle.
Mm. Isn't that and the 95% that we talk about, right? That's where we're going to find the issues, but we spend all our time looking at the 5% and trying to fix the 5% that's really a minor role in our life. So that's why I love today that we're talking about this prevention, this way to get ahead of the game so that if somebody is sick around us, we can say, hey, germs aren't welcome here because my terrain is ready. My terrain is full of ninjas, like I'm like
Right.
ready to take those germs and bacteria and do something about it. So let's talk about a daily routine that we can adopt. And by the way, for those of you, Dr. Jen, show up your Dr. Jen's immune kit,
Oh,
immune
yeah.
essential kit. We're giving away, Dr. Jen's giving away one of these, and the giveaway is going to be September 9th. So that's 2024, September 9th, 2024, because I know we're going to air this some other time as well. So just know that once September 9th, we're done. But if you're listening on podcast, if you're listening or watching today, just make sure you do it now. Ohio is what I used to tell my kid. Ohio, only handle it once. So if you want to do it now. Text me at 407-373-5959 or email me at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com and let me know that you are wanting to build your immune system and you are wanting to get your name in the winner's basket and you want Dr. Jen's Immune Essential Kit. So do it now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Okay, so let's talk about some of these things that we can do to build our terrain and be proactive.
Right. It's simple things. It's, dealing with the stress and, some things that I have implemented. And I'm not saying, you need to go and implement all these in one day. However, that would be great. Most people won't. But if you can challenge yourself to implement something similar to this at least once a month, once a week, you'll start to change your habits. And it's like with anything, you have to do it habitually for it to really have that snowball effect on your health. You can't just do it one day and expect that to cover you. It has to be very consistent. It has to become part of your daily routine. And so, part of my routine is I get up and I, read the word and I pray before, I do anything else. And that is really been something for me personally that has allowed me to just surrender, control over the day. And when I don't feel like I have the weight of the world on me, my cortisol levels are not spiked. I'm not going into the office all amped up, feeling anxious about the day. I'm just calm and going in and, able to serve in a way that I think is much better for my clients and my staff members. So that's, one thing. And then exercise. I love, and I can't believe I'm even saying this because I used to hate exercise.
Yeah, who are you?
I know. But you start doing it and you do it consistently, and it's like I can't go a day without doing some type of exercising. And so
Good
I
for you.
love hot stretching. I love to do, I'm starting to run, and that's something I've never done before. I never liked running. And, I do weights. And so and it could be 30 minutes, it can be an hour, but first thing in the morning, I do like to go for a walk. That is also very stress and very grounding. And then, I go in and start my day. And I am trying to, because one thing I noticed that I was dealing with was some indigestion because I was eating while working. So I'm hurrying, I'm eating good things, but I am working and my mind is not focused in on what I'm eating, what I'm taking into my body, my digestive system. So just taking a few minutes out to really, be grateful for the food that you have, that you're putting into your body, and thinking about what is this doing for me?
Yeah.
So I'm eating a bowl of blueberries. What is this doing to my body? And that I think makes a big difference. Got rid of the digestive issues I was having, the GERD, things like that, the bloating, all of that. You kind of disappeared just by being mindful of the foods that I was eating, and because you make better choices.
You also had a class
Mhm.
that you did the monitoring of the blood. How good is that for building your
It
immune
is.
system?
It is amazing. I did it for 7 months, consistently for 7 months, monitoring myself. That was a huge awakening for me, especially being a practitioner,
Mm.
thinking I was doing all the things like, I should be doing. It wasn't working for me like I thought it was. And my body was in this roller coaster of inflammatory spikes, so glucose spikes, and even eating, healthy food. It was the order in which I ate food that I learned. It was the stress of the day that I learned would spike my glucose. Anytime you have a spiked glucose above 120, your body's in a state of inflammation. And
Mm.
how long it stays at that level or higher. And I've, been monitoring all kinds of groups of patients, and it has been really eye-opening to see how different people respond to different stressors in their life. And so the emotional stress has been huge, and that's why I started practicing all of these techniques. This is why I took a sabbatical and just really got focused in on my own health, is because those numbers were astronomical. They were diabetic levels when I was fasting because of stress. Could be water fasting and have glucose spikes over 200, just from stress. And you wonder, well, how is that possible? Because your body, you're in your fight or flight, and it's going to pull glucose from anywhere else that's stored in the body, and it's going to flood your bloodstream because it's trying to protect you. It's trying to give you the fuel you need to run away from that danger. And can you imagine staying in that, danger, mode for days and weeks, months, like so many people do? And you wonder why we develop these chronic illnesses, whether it's diabetes, heart disease, cancer. I see it over and over again. So yeah, I highly, highly encourage anyone to do that for a month to 2 months to see. First you want to see what your lifestyle that you've chosen is doing to your
Mhm.
blood sugars. Then you want to start implementing change and see how it impacts it. So it may take several months. So any of your listeners who want to do that, you can
Yeah.
connect with us, get those
Okay.
monitors
Yeah.
sent to you, and you link up to me. So I actually see your numbers in real time. I get
Wow.
alerts when they spike. I tell you what to do, about the spike. And so it is
I would love to
amazing.
do that. I told you that the last time I saw
Yeah,
you here in Florida, that I
right.
really would like to do that because I believe, especially us women over the age of 60, you're not there yet. When I say us, I'm talking about the global us that are over the age of 60. Something happens to us at 60 that causes our hormones, maybe our body, our cup runneth over, and we can no longer manage everything. And I'm thinking that this is a key, the monitoring, the sugar, the glucose monitoring course that you offer. Is that something that we can, do we go to shop rightwayhealth.com, or do we go to rightwayhealthandwellness.com to learn more about this course? Or is it something that you do individually with people now?
So we do it usually in groups, and so we will have another one coming this fall. But we are in the process of getting it on an app so that you can download the app and do it
Wow.
from an app version. And so that may be out in the next couple of months too. But yeah, so it is usually a group, effort. We do experiments during this 30 days. We start with a plant-based diet, as you know, and then we start to test things in the order in which you eat food. So you learn a lot. We had, I think, about 40 students in the last class, and amazing testimonies with reversal of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer. I
Wow.
mean, it was just, and you don't have to have a chronic illness. Let's not wait till we get that before we
No,
start
it's
monitoring
no, absolutely
ourselves.
not. Yeah.
Let's do it ahead of time. So I've actually created some blood panels that I really like to see on patients. And so it's proactive health panel for women, proactive health panel for men, and it will look at all your inflammation markers, these critical markers. The cardio IQ test is on there, which tells you the density of your cholesterol particles, because so many people walk in the hospital in a massive heart attack and had normal blood cholesterol. So the total cholesterol, the LDL, LHD, is not telling you enough. You really need to know the particle size. You want the really light, fluffy cholesterol, and you don't want the small or medium density, levels. That's the weighted cholesterol that causes the blockage. And 9 times out of 10, when we test and they have a normal cholesterol, and you look at that cardio IQ test, which is a reflection too on their immune system, not just cardiac health, but these are markers linked to cancer now. You see high levels, which puts them at high risk for cardiac event or cancer, or some other type of immune disorder.
It's
So
amazing.
these
It's
are,
so
yeah,
they can go, is it okay? So how much does it cost to do something like that? And I know that people that are watching this class can get 20% off with Lily 20 if
right.
once they decide to do this. So is there a price point that you can share with us
So it
that an
depends on the
average?
panels. Yeah, it's a few $100s to run those panels, and you want to do those yearly. So,
Mhm.
these, of course, are proactive, so insurance will not pay for it, but I let you have these huge amount of labs for cost. So like a CBC is $3, a CMP would be $8. So
Wow.
you can imagine it's a lot of labs that normally would cost you probably over $1,000 paying out of pocket. Of course, most people's insurance, but doctors won't order this. They won't do this proactively until you have the symptom to warrant ordering the labs. Insurance will not pay for it. So,
Mm.
if you want to take control of your health, you're going to need to invest in your health. You need to know what these numbers are. And so we do offer all of that, those types of labs here at Rightway at our cost. And then I do charge a consult fee, which for the month of August and September is cut in half. So the consult fee is only $50. So you get a $50 saving to go over all of your labs, and then
Wow.
develop a, diet plan for you. We'll give you a, diet plan and
And
any
does
supplements.
that include the monitor? When I go like this, I always talk about the monitor
No, the monitor is separate.
and that's
The
the
mon
course.
Yeah, that's the course.
And how much
And
is the course, Dr. Jen?
the course, I think it's 395. I'm not
Okay. Okay.
100% sure on that, but we'll run a special for your group when we get that started. It'll probably be October when we do
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And it's how long is the course that you work
30
together with?
days.
30
Yeah,
days. Okay.
a
Well,
30-day program. Yeah,
I'm hoping to do that with you as well because I really am curious about because I eat very healthy and
right.
I'm pretty consistent. And I know that if I gain weight on the scale, it's because I need to change some of the things that maybe I'm on vacation and I'm
Right.
indulging a little bit more. Like I've said, I eat well 90% of the time. So when I'm in that 10%, I don't want, I don't want to worry. I don't want to guilt myself into it because I know emotionally that's worse
Works
than
for
than
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm not going
that's
to guilt
works for you.
myself if I want to
Yeah.
indulge it. But when I indulge people, you got to understand my listening and viewing friend, you've got to understand that I'm allergic to a lot of things. So I don't do dairy, I don't do wheat, I don't do fried foods, I don't do there's a lot of things that when I indulge, I don't even think about as indulgent. I think that is torture if I were
Yeah.
to do something like that. I would know immediately if I were to do something like that in my skin and how I feel. So yeah, I'd love to do that with you just to see, has my body changed, or what is it that's been finally creeping up on me? Because I do want to be at optimal health. I see how dementia and cognitive decline, and I'm I had shared with you that I'm doing the biofeedback or neurofeedback and I've been doing this since March, and I've
Mhm.
seen incredible changes in me. So I do this for me because my mom has been such a wonderful teacher on what could happen if
Mm.
I'm not proactive. If
Right.
I'm not proactive. And we just celebrated her 90th birthday, but she won't remember it.
Yeah.
She will never remember it. She won't even remember if I'm there and then go to the bathroom and come back. Oh, when did you get here? I don't want my children to go through that. But what I do want is optimal health. And I think that if we focus on what we want,
Hmm.
we're going to be knocking on your door, Dr. Jen, to do this course with together. So I'd love to do this with you in October because I think that should be our gift. If people ask you what you want for your birthday or if you want for Christmas or the holidays, just say, you know what? I have a little fund here. I want to do the Dr. Jen's program. I want to be able to be a part of this so that I can see what I'm doing to myself without knowing that I'm doing this. But once you know better,
Right.
we do better. So I'm
Right.
looking forward to that. And this is and so let me just take a little moment here just to remind you that at whenyouneedafriend.com, this is where we take 100% responsibility along with Dr. Jen and all the great teachers that come into the classroom. So if you're looking at making some changes, but you're thinking, you know, um, I can't, or I won't stick with it, or I won't do, to have the group camaraderie, to have a group looking after you and caring for you and holding you accountable and you holding yourself accountable, perhaps that's what you need right now. And so please consider not only sending your name and putting your name in the winner's basket for Dr. Jen's Immune Essential Kit that we're giving away on September 9th, but that you take 100% look at your life and say, okay, why am I hurting myself? What am I doing? What was my day like last week? Or like for me, just recently, I had some back issues. It's like, why is this happening? Not that I had the back issue, but what caused it? How can I prevent that in the future? These are questions that are much better for us than just drowning our belief system in, oh, I'm going to watch that television show and just numb myself with food, numb myself with alcohol, numb myself with drugs, numb myself with, just being unaware of why I am causing what I'm causing. So I'm right there with you guys. If you're ready to take that plunge, please submit your names. Just let me know that you are ready to put your names in the winner's basket. And if you're interested in this October course that Dr. Jen's going to do, let me know that as well. And let's do it together. If you are at whenyouneedafriend.com, please know that I would love for you to please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the website, to all my social media channels, also as well as, BitChute and Odyssey and all the podcasts that we have. Please subscribe to those. That way you're the first ones to know what's going on in the classroom. Check out my sponsors page. Support my sponsors like Dr. Jen, the way that they're supporting the classroom. You can always go to Dr. Jennifer Gramith at Rightway Health and Wellness. You can check out all the products that she have. And listen, I trust Dr. Jen, and if she puts a product line in her toolbox, then just know that she's vetted it, she's checked it out, and this is the best that you can find. So shop rightwayhealth.com is where you can find it. And remember, Lily20 will get you 20% off of your total purchase. You can also go to my Shop Now bag. And when you go to my Shop Now bag, you can learn about some of the products that I use. Some of them are affiliate that help with a little bit if you buy it from there, it helps contribute to the classroom. So please, if you're going to do something, use that. And if you want to try something, just know that I give it my thumb of approval, my seal of approval. And it's not, some of them are not affiliates. Some of them are just that I really believe in the product. And I want you to understand that this is something that you can research and see if this is something that you can believe in too. And last but not least, you can become an enrolled student in the classroom. Whether it's $1 or $1,000 a month or a one-time donation, it doesn't matter. Sharing this video with all your friends, people that you know, is a way that you can help the classroom grow. So like I said, whether it's your time, your talent, your treasure, all of it helps out. So check out today, know that Dr. Jennifer Gramith is a part of this mission, and she shares the same values that I share as well. So Dr. Jen, I want to thank you for being a sponsor of the classroom. And I love the fact that you are returning and we can do things together, because when we do something in a group, it takes on a different meaning. It's more than just being accountable to myself and just going, well, nobody's going to know. To be able to do this in a group, how have your groups changed you?
Right. Well, I've learned so much from them, and things, like I said, that I thought, were rock solid. Actually, in reality, I mean, you can always take theory, but then you implement it, it's not the same. And
Yeah.
so, that really is humbling to a practitioner, because we think a lot of times we can, think that we know what's best for you. And everybody is different. So, having these tools to really monitor yourself, to know if your diet that you've chosen is the right one for you or not. And you would be surprised. I mean, I had people in the last class that were vegan, and they were eating way too many beans and legumes that were shooting their glucose up to diabetic level, and
Wow.
keeping it at that level for about 4 to 5 hours a day, and then they would eat again and it would continue. And so had a lot of health issues, had a lot of cardiac issues, and couldn't understand why. Well, that's why, because their body is in a state of inflammation.
And that brings down the
Inflammation
immune
is
system. Yeah. Yeah.
and so, and that when your body's in that chronic inflammation, your immune system's lowered, you're susceptible to everything. And so that's another reason I think, that The viruses we've had in the past did so much damage,
Mhm.
to the population is
Mhm.
because we're just the balls of inflammation walking around and, we've got our head stuck in the sand and not paying attention and we're putting a big bullseye right on our back by doing that. And so we've got to wake up, we've really got to look at our diet. Diet is critical. The foods that you put in your body should nourish your body. They should not be tearing down your body. So, highly processed foods should be minimal or not existent in your diet. They're not foods. If they're highly processed, they're not truly food. And there's no health benefits from that. And so, and then, like I said, the simple things you can do for your immune system is start changing your diet, implementing what I've seen in research, in clinical practice and in, medical journals is people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. Those are the foods that have all those critical nutrients, the vitamin C and A and E and D and all of those things that every cell in your body needs to function properly. And the majority of the population is malnourished. So, one step you can take is add 4 or 5 more vegetables into your plate every day and do that and continue to build upon that. Exercise daily. Make sure you're getting good deep sleep. Your body is resting. You're hydrated. These are all things that are very beneficial for your immune system and lower your stress levels. And that's easier said than done, but we have some great tools. You introduced me into brain tapping. We use EVOX here to kind of
Mhm.
retrain my brain. We talked about neurofeedback.
Mhm.
These are all tools they work quickly, which is wonderful.
Mhm.
And they do work. They work very quickly and they're very effective and people see dramatic transformation. And if you can change how you think, your habits will change. You can't just change your habits if you are still thinking the same negative thoughts. So keep
That's
that
true.
in mind.
That's true.
That's
That's
probably
true.
number one.
That's true. So if I had a toolkit, like a little medical box, if I wanted to, what are some of the supplements? You mentioned D and C. What about zinc and other things that to put into that like daily routine for care,
Right. So those are
self-care?
the ones, yeah. So vitamin D is something, but if you're going to take oral vitamin D, get your levels checked once a year, so that you don't get too much, because too much can be just as bad as not enough.
Mhm.
So that zinc is something that's a given. Anytime you have cold flu coming up, go ahead and start, supplementing with zinc. Then, vitamin C is something most of us should be taking on a regular basis. But herbs, as far as herbs that you need, is things like one of the best anti-inflammatories is curcumin. And so if you know that you have chronic inflammation, you should be taking some type of anti-inflammatory, like curcumin is one of the most powerful ones. Green tea is an amazing antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, gets rid of free radical damage. Broccoli sprouts, this is why these are things that are part of our cancer protocols because they are extremely needed and powerful in the body. Ginger is also an anti-inflammatory that, people don't realize that. They just think of it as for nausea, but it has antioxidant properties as well. It's antiviral. Um, and, those are the main things. And then I love, Lily, I love to, like, if I'm going to go fly somewhere, you know how many
Mhm.
germs you get from the airplane.
Yeah.
I will do a nasal, either just spray with
Mhm.
hydrogen peroxide and iodine. And I think I actually sent you that
Yes.
formula that
Yes.
you share with people.
Mhm.
But that is something really good. You can just spray in your nostrils. You can drop a drop in your eye. I use my liquid Dr. Jen's in my mouth. It's an antimicrobial as well. And so there are things like that to prepare yourself so that you don't get sick. I mean, I'm around sick people all day long. And I rarely get ill from that. You know, a lot of nurses are around sick people. Well, why do they not get, sick too? And you take these necessary precautions and it will save you a lot of, especially moms, we've got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
It will save you a lot of headache. And so essential oils, I diffuse them. We diffuse them in all of our treatment rooms
What
here.
are
And
some of
then,
your favorite essential oils to
as
diffuse?
far as for cold and flus, I have a cold and flu formula, a
You
Rightway cold.
do?
And so you can put it on your hands and breathe it in. You can diffuse it. I also put it in the bottoms of my feet during cold and flu season. Tea tree oil, eucalyptus oil, peppermint oil. People, lavender is very calming and great for stress, but it's also a great anti-inflammatory. And so people don't know that oregano oil and thyme, that's what's in, here, very powerful. Um,
So which
Frankincense.
one is that? What are you showing us?
So this is the Immuno Blend liquid. So
Okay.
I have
Is
a
that in
cap.
the kit? Is that in the kit?
No, it's the capsules are in the kit, but you can
Okay.
purchase this. Now I use this in my water pick and because I used to have periodontal disease and so it got rid of the periodontal disease very quickly, better than
Wow.
anything I've ever used. I used it, my daughter used it as well. She had some periodontal disease, cleared it right up. You can
Wow.
also use this topically on the skin. You can take it internally. It just doesn't taste that great. But it's really, really amazing blend of essential oils, herbs that kill infection. So I use that all the time. I use it every day.
Okay, so we have about 5 more minutes in the classroom today. So you had talked really quickly about the nasal spray. We've talked, you've met Dr. Thomas Levy. We talked about
Yeah.
hydrogen peroxide nebulization. What are
Uh,
some of the other things that we can do? Remember the question I asked, if I take some garlic, I know that that garlic's going to stop that sore throat from getting deeper into my lungs, but I deal with it. But what are some other things that can help maybe orally or nasally? What?
Silver, yeah. So there's silver, which is your natural antibiotic. So silver, olive leaf, oregano oil, those are things. Then you can also, there's remedies and teas that you can create, like just simple, you've heard of honey lemon tea when you have a sore throat or turmeric milk. That is really, really good. And I use a fermented turmeric powder and I put it in my bio coffee and it gives it that chai taste, but it's
Oh,
very anti-inflammatory. So during the winter, fall and winter months, that's what I'm drinking every day just as a preventative. And it's, I don't feel like I'm taking another supplement. It's just like a treat for me. Premier Research has that fermented turmeric powder that I use. Really, really good. And you just mix it with a little ginger, a little black pepper, a little honey to taste, and it is fabulous. So try that. Peppermint tea settles your stomach, yeah, but it also opens up your bronchioles and allows you to breathe better. It kills viruses and other infections as well. It's got that cooling effect. So whether you're drinking the tea or using the essential oil, I use the essential oil behind my ears and temples and on my head if I have a headache. It, alleviates that because of that cooling effect. Elderberry syrup is what I usually give my kids. It tastes good, they love it, and it's an antimicrobial. It's like a natural antibiotic as well.
I have one. I
You can
have
make
that.
it into a
Yeah.
tea too, and use just fresh dried elderberries with water and honey and make your own. It's
Wow.
way
Wow.
less expensive too. So a lot of these things you can make at home. I love um apple cider vinegar, and I'll drink that. Try to drink it in water. It's a great digestive aid, but it's also good to help stabilize the immune system, support the immune system, the macrophages, T cells. Garlic in general, garlic and honey is probably one of the strongest over the counter things you can do for your immune system. And it works by increasing your white blood cell count, killing the infection. So, that's the root of the problem. You've had the exposure, the infection's taken over. You want to kill the infection. You just not just get rid of the symptoms
Yeah.
and
Well,
drive the infection deeper, which is a lot of over the counter medications will do.
yeah, yeah. And great suggestions, Dr. Jen. I want to hear from you all out there. What is your favorite remedy for cold and flu season? Share it with us. Share it with Dr. Jen. We would love to know that. We also want to encourage you to send me a text, 407-373-5959, or email me at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. Not everybody likes to text. And you have the opportunity to win one. Go ahead and show us what's in that beautiful box of yours, the Immune Essential Kit. One of you is going to win this on September 9th. So make sure that when you text me or email me, let me know that you saw Dr. Jen and you are ready to take your health back and you're ready to take your immune system back. And you want to put your name on the winner's basket, and one name will be selected on September 9th. I'm excited about all of this, and I want to hear from all of you. And I want to encourage all of you to reach out to Dr. Jen. If you have any questions, reach out to Rightway Health and Wellness. She has a wonderful team that can help you and decide. And if you have some questions about some of the products that she's created, I'm sure that they will also be able to help you. You can go to shoprightwayhealth.com. Shoprightwayhealth.com. You can call 404-474-2100. That's 404-474-2100. And I'm going to say it a third time, 404-474-2100, so that you can ask any questions that you have. And I'm just so grateful to you, Dr. Jen. I think that this is a great kickoff into going into fall, stepping into fall, not falling into fall, but stepping into fall, so that we can be proactive and start now, so that we can look at germs and say, my terrain is so good that I am going to continue to love myself, so that every cell in my body is going to love me back. So any final words, Dr. Jen?
Nope, I just encourage everybody to, be proactive in your health. And if we can serve you here at Rightway, that's what we're here for. So you feel free to reach out. You can reach me. We'll be having some programs coming up that I'll continue to share with you, Lily, because this year is really moving into more education, teaching our communities, and I'm going to rely on the communities and my virtual offices all over the world to, educate their communities. And I think that's how we can make systemic change in the world and in our lives. And because we are not headed down a good path if we don't implement some of these proactive measurements. So let's do it all together and serve one another.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being a part of the classroom and supporting us as you do. Please make sure all of you support Dr. Jen and her mission as well, so we can all come together and grow. And please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lily McDermott and Dr. Jennifer Gramith wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Good job. I missed that ever.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lily and McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.